Hey everybody, it's your boy Little Killer TV here with a very short guide to playing Epic 7. All right, so um this is going to be a guide for those of you that are new to the game. All right, those of you that are veterans at this, you can go ahead and skip this video. This is not. We're going to cover 5 key things here: leveling, story, battles, summoning, and PvP. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about leveling. So when you first start the game, you're going to get this guy right here. His name is Roz. We're going to scroll down, find him somewhere. He's somewhere. I should have passed him. Oh, he's here. He's somewhere. There he is. Haha, I found him. All right. So this is Roz. You're going to start the game with him. Roz is the main character of the game. You're going to see him in all of the story and things of that nature. He is a 3-star tank. He has his third skill is an AoE. His here we go. Third skill, Sword of the Air. It's an AoE, strongly attacks all enemies with a sword storm, recovering health proportional to the damage dealt. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. All right. His second skill is attacks the enemy repeatedly, triggers a dual attack. So he automatically pulls the ally with the strongest attack. Okay. Whoever has the highest attack, they're going to follow up and attack with him. And then he has a basic attack. Now, the thing about Roz is that he's a very good starting character, okay? Don't discredit him just because he's a 3-star character. He's actually probably one of the strongest characters you'll get starting with, okay? In terms of building him, I just got whatever on him right now. But in terms of building him when you first start the game, you're going to get a lot of health and defense items that are gray or green. Uh, those are those are decent starting items until you can farm better. So I would just focus on the items that have this heart or have a defensive shield on. And if they're green, look for the okay. So the main stat is going to be the bold one, and the substats are those that are under it. So you want to make sure that you have the main stat, which is fine, and then the substat, you want to look for ones that say health or defense, and that's what you want to put on. So we're not looking to make him a very bolstering character in terms of attacking ability. We just want to make sure that he can survive being in front. So that's what you want to do there. The second character you get is Mercedes. And she's given to you for free. She's a 4-star character. You get her for free in the game. And we're going to go over her skills right now. Her third skill is an AoE. And what it does is that it attacks all the enemies and it does more damage based on their missing health. And her second ability is another AoE that attacks all enemies and it does more damage when there are 3 or fewer enemies. And then her first skill attacks 2 enemies. So it attacks the enemy you select and an enemy at random. She is a really good character to have until you get something better. She doesn't have any debuffs, which would be your blind, your unhealable, unable to buff, defense break. I feel like I'm missing one, but those are the like the and provoke. Those are like the main things that you want from your characters to be able to do. Because the more you're able to debuff the enemy, the more you're able to be either to do more damage or prevent them from doing damage. Oh yeah, attack down. There we go. That's the other one I was looking for. So attack break, attack down, however you want to look at it. Um, so people say that she's like a placeholder character. Um, to me, she's pretty good in terms of what she can do. So I would say that if you're going to be a free to play player, she's really good to go to until until you roll and get something better. Otherwise, you want to build her with attack. Okay, attack is going to be the red sword. You want to make sure you get 4 pieces of this and put it on hers because it will increase her attack by 35%. Substats you want to look for are going to be crit hit chance, speed, crit hit damage, attack percentage, things like that. That's what you want to put on her. You want her to be your glass cannon. You want her to be able to say, "Hey, I'm going to do damage to as many people as possible and as much damage as I can." All right. The next person you get after that is Aether. I'm kind of spoiling the story, but you get him when you unlock certain things. He is your healer. He is going to be the healer that you start with. And unless you roll a healer in the summon, probably going to be your only healer for a while. His heals are based on his attack. So you're going to want 4 pieces of attack. And substats that you want to look for are going to be attack and health. Okay. Because his skills are the following. His third skill is going to be a heal with a barrier for 2 turns. Well, actually, yeah, for 2 turns. And the amount recovered is proportional to his attack and your target's max health. So basically, the higher your health is, the higher his heal will be. Okay? And the barrier is proportional to his attack. So the higher his attack, the higher his heal and his barrier will be for that ability. Second one is a single target heal, and it's based on his attack and your health, the target's health. And then the first skill is a basic attack with a 25% chance to decrease speed. I forgot about that one. That's another debuff. All right. So we have our main 3 characters. Uh, we went over their skills. Throughout the first chapter of the story, let's go ahead and go to the first chapter. You are going to get 3 NPC supports. You're going to get Bildred, which is a 5-star thief. His skills are, the third skill is an AoE. His second is a passive. If he kills a target, he attacks with an AoE, and it attacks all targets. And then his first skill hits the enemy you select and a random unit. The second support NPC you will get is Iseria. Iseria is a 5-star archer. Her abilities are all single target. So her third skill attacks the enemy with a chance to break their defense. Is break their defense something else? And I don't want to be incorrect here. So we're going to go to the journal and look so I can cheat. It's going to come up shortly. There we go. All right. So here we go. So decrease defense and prevent them from being able to buff. Her second is the reset the cooldown of an ally except for the caster, and it grants an extra turn. And then her first skill is that she attacks with a 35% chance to decrease defense. So she if you actually roll and get her, she's really a good character for bosses because she has 2 decreased defense abilities. Very clutch, very key. All right. And the last NPC that you get as a support is Mercedes. So we already went over her skills. So throughout the first chapter, you're going to be going from 1-1 all the way to 110. All right. When you first start playing the game, you're going to get tutorials, and the tutorials are going to tell you basically how to play the game. Don't skip them. Just go ahead and follow the tutorial. Let it tell you what to do. Let it show you how things are done. And then you go ahead, and from there, you can go ahead and implement them and do things the way you would like. So the first 4 are pretty short. You're going to attack 2 waves until you get to the 4th one. The 4th one, you're going to actually do 3 waves, and there's going to be a big boss at the end. There are bosses at the end of each one, but the 4th one, he's a bit stronger than the other 3. The 5th part, you're going to go into like a town, basically. You're going to walk around, and it's going to explain how towns work when you go into them. Be sure to pay attention because that's also going to show you how to do the labyrinths, which are part of the battles. I'm going to show you that in a moment. After that, in 1-6, you gain auto mode. From there, it's just pretty much point, click, and then let it do its thing. You can turn it off and play it manually as well. Me personally, I do the auto because it's pretty cut and dry. They do the skills, they select targets. Sometimes they attack priority based on their element strength, or they go by whoever attacked first. So you're going to get that until you get to chapter 1-9. And 1-9 is where you would do your first Chaos Gate. The Chaos Gate is what you do to get the Breath of Orbis. The Breath of Orbis is what you need to upgrade your Sanctuary. And I'll go over Sanctuary in another video where we'll actually break down each piece of the Sanctuary. Cool? All right. So let's go ahead and get to the nitty gritty. 110. 110 is where you fight the boss. Okay. I'm not going to say who the boss is, but you will go in. It's a labyrinth based mission. So it's going to be key things that you do, paths that you follow. And then at the end of all of that, you will fight the boss. Once when you beat the boss, you'll get a cutscene. It'll take you over to chapter 2. And once when you get through all of that, you get through the tutorials, you're going to go ahead and select this top right icon. You're going to go to lobby. And then over here to the right of where my Angelica is, you're going to have an icon that says Selective Summon. This is where summoning gets great. So for you free-to-play players, this is probably the best thing in the world. Selective Summon is, it's not here, I can't show you. But what Selective Summon is that it gives you 30 tries with 10 attempts to make the best deck possible. Okay. So key things that you want to know is that you have a high probability of getting 5 stars, 5-star artifact, or 5-star character. The way you would know is that you're going to see on the left, a pink hair character will come up. That's the artifact. And if the blue hair character comes up on the right, I'm sorry, left is the 5-star artifact, right is the 5-star character. 4 stars would just be a gold. The pages would be gold, and it would be a gold circle. That's 4-star. Character will have the knight. Artifact will have like a circular object. Okay. 3 stars is just the same thing without the gold pages, pretty much. So, key thing you want to do here is that you want a 5-star character and a 4-star character go with it. As far as like who you would get, let me actually go to the Covenant Summon because this is easier way to look at it. The characters that are not in the summon are going to be Crow, Haste, and Tenebria. Everybody else is part of the summon. Okay. Don't, whatever you do, please do not pay attention to the tier list because any of these characters are great characters. Okay. It's all about how you play and how you build them. That's the beautiful thing of this game. A 3-star character can be as great as a 5-star character if you build them properly. So, my personal picks are going to be I'll go from top to bottom here. Vildred is a farmer. He's good for clearing stuff quickly and just plowing through the content. Charlotte is probably the biggest battle tank you will have. She's small in stature, but she does probably the most damage. Ball and Sezon is a mage that's very heavy on debuffs. So they're basically your biggest controller that you're going to get. Ravi is essentially a blood tank. She has a built-in light steal mechanic, and she has high health for a warrior. We already went over Iseria. Says is a really good farmer as well. He has a single target mechanic where he can actually target more enemies based on the enemy's HP. Tywin is a really good support tank. He has a 3rd skill AoE with defense break. He has a supporting skill in his 2nd where he gives attack and crit to one ally. And then he has his regular attack. Ken is quintessentially the strongest warrior in the game right now. Out of these selective summons, he is the strongest. They gave him a really big buff recently, so you would want to actually get him if you can. Artemintha is another controlling mage. She has a very big series of debuffs, and she also buffs the party with attack. Chloe is probably one of the strongest single targets as an ice character. She's very niche in what she can do and what she can clear, but she's a very good character as well. Basar is another controlling character. He can actually stop people from being buffed. So he's good for that. Ludwig is a quintessential character. He can steal buffs and he has AoE abilities, but buyer beware. He's one of the characters that I like and dislike at the same time. You would have to play with him to see what I'm talking about. Sigrid is also one of my favorite warriors. She's full of debuffs and she can basically lock down a character from healing. So she's fairly good for that as well. Destina is probably the strongest healer in the game. If you get her, I would try to keep that role. If you can get a 4-star with her, any kind of DPS, you're pretty much set for the game. Tenebria you won't get. Crow you won't get. Euphine, I call her Eufine. She is Dragon Wife. They buffed her recently. She has a defense break. She has a silence. Silence is game changing in PvP Because if you can silence everybody, you pretty much made them unable to do their abilities. Um, let's see. Haste you won't get. Cecilia is a very powerful PvP tank. She has an AoE taunt with a barrier for herself. She also has an AoE attack break, and on her first skill, she has a defense break. Very good PvP character. Kayron, I don't really have much experience with him, so I can't really give you any insight on him. I apologize about that. Kisei was introduced recently. She is very strong single target damage. So if you get her, she's really good for that. So she would be good for like bosses and things of that nature. Bologna is a new character. I don't know if she's in the selective summon. I would have to go look. But if she is in the selective summon, she has an AoE defense break. She has an AoE second skill, and then her first skill can target her AoE defense break. Very strong. Okay. Now for 4 stars, we got Rose, which is a very reliable tank. We have Silk, which is a character that you can get for free in the game. So if you get her, and like no 5 star, I would go ahead and try to go for something different. Armin is probably the best 4 star tank in the game. She has a barrier, a heal, an AoE attack, and a stun. Zerato is an AoE ice mage. Karen is a single target DPSer with a defense break and high crit. You need now, buyer beware about Karen. You need very high crit for her to be effective. If she does not have crit, she is not effective. Corvus is a defensive warrior. He's more about mitigation, so he has a stun. He has he can decrease the combat readiness of the enemy, and he can pass off debuffs from him to the enemy. Cartuja is another defensive warrior. He has a stun and an AoE. Sid is probably one of the fastest thieves in the game. He has a defense break. He has very high damage, very high crit. Uh, Achates is another healer. She's probably the fastest healer in the game. Her heals aren't that strong, but they up very frequently. And if you max her awakening, she has invincibility for 1 turn for 1 character. Shuri is Mr. Combat Readiness. He is the guy to push your team forward to attack more often. He needs a lot of crit in order to do that, though. Dingo is one of my favorites to play with because his third skill decreases everybody's cooldown by 1 turn. And then his first skill triggers his second skill, which is an AoE. So pretty much you burn his second skill and then you just hit him with the first skill, and then he has a 30% chance to target his second to trigger his second skill. Man, that's a lot. Clarissa, she is a great warrior. She has a defense break and she has an AoE that applies bleed. Her second, which is a passive, grants her rage. If she kills a target, she gets AoE attack follow up. Very good character to get. Leo is really good for Arena. He has an AoE stun and he has a single target stun with a defense break. Lot is a healer that increases combat readiness. Maya is a tank that has a AoE taunt and a single target stun. Coley is a single target DPS thief. She has really high speed, and they reworked her to where every time she's stealth, she gains a double attack. Uh, Purgus is a counter-attacking warrior. I do not have much experience with Crozet, so I cannot give you information about him. I'm sorry. Domnielle is a supportive mage. She has an AoE with a stun. She has an AoE barrier where she provides barrier for everyone. And then she has a single target attack, I believe that decreases speed. Roman is a character that can remove buffs and applies poison. He has two AoEs, and his single target ability decreases combat readiness. So you can lock down a character from being able to attack when it's their turn. Um, Angelica is a healer that grants immunity and barrier to your whole team. She also has a single target heal, and she has on her basic attack a stun. Surin is the bleed queen. She has decent speed as a thief. Um, she applies bleed with her second ability, and then her second skill, and her first skill applies more bleed if the target is bleeding. And then her third skill does damage based on the amount of stacks of bleed the enemy has. And then your three-star heroes, the notable heroes, in my opinion, are going to be Clury, Alexa, uh, Helga, Azalea. Azalea is like a three-star Robbie. Guard, Hazel, uh, Nemesis, Cutis, and Carmine Rose. You get any of those, you're solid. But make sure that you have a 5-star and a 4-star, and you be even better. Okay. As far as artifacts go, if you're going to go with a 5-star artifact instead of the 5-star character, these are the ones that I say you get: Sigurd's Sight, which is a warrior artifact; Durandal, which is a warrior artifact; Brianna and Luciella, which is a thief artifact; Wind Rider, which is an archer artifact; Song of Star. No, Wind Rider is a thief artifact. I'm sorry. Song of Stars is an archer artifact. Uh, Rada Amaryllis, which is a healer artifact. Shamadra's Staff is an healer artifact as well. Time Matter, which is a mage artifact. Uber's Tooth, which is a warrior artifact. And if Celestine is in there, you want that one for your healer as well. If you get either one of those and you want to keep it, make sure that you get a 4-star character that can equip it. That's that's going to be my advice if you decide to go with a 5-star artifact. Other than that, pass on them. Get a 5-star character, get a 4-star character. You get 30 tries to do it. Okay? If you want to do it on your first go, I would basically look for the character that I want, hope and pray to God that I get 4-star, and then if I do, everything else is like falling into place. So the best that I have done, I have gotten 5 4-stars one time, and then 5 4-star characters, I should say. And then one time I got a 5-star character and 3 4-stars. So I was able to make full teams out of each one. But that's probably about out of 100 times that I've tried. Just to give you some insight as to how much it takes to do it. All right. So that covers story basics. That covers summoning. Well, actually, I'll go over Moonlight Summons. Moonlight Summons you get after you complete the entire story. So from chapter 1 to the end of chapter 10. Moonlight Summon is going to give you your dark and light characters. I should have explained that. Covenant Summon is going to give you your earth, fire, and ice characters. Moonlight is going to give you your dark and light. Okay. Friendship Summon is basically what we call fodder. It gives you two-star heroes and 1 and 2-star artifacts. You use them to feed into others, and I'll go over that with leveling. Okay. So that's story, summon, done. All right, let's go over leveling. So you get experience points Each time you do an adventure, and what happens is that once when a character reaches their max level, they no longer gain XP. So when that happens, the other characters gain more experience because that one person is not getting it. So my key to leveling is to use a 3-star character in the lineup and get them to level 30 as soon as possible. And then from there, keep them at level 30. And if you got 4-star and a 5-star character, let them level beyond that. So typically, 3-star characters that you want to do this with are going to be like Hazel, Aether, that are still somewhat effective because they can heal, or characters like Roz, Terranor Royal Guard, Butcher Corpse Inquisitor, guys that are tanks, because they get the XP. 3-stars gain XP faster than a 4-star, and a 4-star gains XP faster than a 5-star. Now, if you really want to make XP grinding faster, get a 2-star fodder character. You'll get plenty of them while you're playing. They give them to you for free. They're drops. If you get one, put it in your lineup and then let it get to level 20 and leave it there. And then let everyone else level up. And once when someone else levels up, you can replace them if you want to level up another character, or you could leave both of them in there and let the other people level up and then max them out. So you want to do this and basically just cycle out a person. If you want to try to keep one lineup, just cycle out a person every time they hit max level so that you can level somebody else to max level. I know that might be a little bit much, but it is the fastest way of effective leveling story. Okay. Um, Once when you get past chapter 3-4, you're going to unlock things in the battle here. So once when you get through chapter 1, you're going to unlock the labyrinth. Okay. The labyrinth is an area for you to get gear early on so that you can equip your characters with rare gear, the blue gear, versus good or normal gear. The first level labyrinth gives you attack, health, and defense gear. Basically, you want to just get enough gear to gear up your whole team and then plow on through. Okay. The spirit altar you unlock after the first chapter, I believe, maybe the second chapter. And this is where you go to get your rooms for awakening your characters so that you can increase their stats and awaken their abilities to do extra things. Abyss you unlock after chapter 2, and the hunt you get after chapter 3-4. The hunt is where you go to farm for gear. You're going to get materials from there so that you can craft them. And that's going to be something that I go over in another video with the sanctuary. But this is where you go to farm everything. You have your side story here. These change out every 2 weeks. The side story is based on the character that they release, and you're able to farm it to get items from the exchange, and these items can be catalysts, Malagora seeds, phantasmas, runes, covenant bookmarks, penguins. Penguins are used for leveling your characters as well. Artifact charms. It could be gear. It could be gold. It could be all kinds of stuff. So once when you unlock the side stories, go ahead and do them. Get the XP from them. Get that bonus gold. All of that stuff. It's fun to do. You don't have to rush through the game. Just play everything. Take your time. Learn the game. All right. So that's pretty much battle in a nutshell. All right. Now we're going to cover PvP, the arena. You get arena after clearing chapter 3, I believe. And Arena starts off. Arena has five. Well, it's 6 tiers. Let's see. League info. All right. So you start off at bronze. You get 20 points per victory. You need 200 per rank. So 200, 400, 600, 800. Once when you get to 1,000, you get to silver. And then from silver is 200 points again. 200, 400, 600, 800. When you get to 2,000 points, you're in gold. And it's 200 points again. 200, 400, 600, 800. And same thing with master. 3,000, then 200, 400, 600, 800. Then you get to challenger, and it's the same thing again. Now, once when you get to champion, it's basically where you rank in the world. Yeah. So the higher you rank in the world, that's how you move up. Then you get to legend. Legend is the top 100. This means that you are the top of the evolution food chain, and you're basically beating everybody's ass that you come into contact with. All right. So basically you're going to put together a defense team. Oh, hold on. I'm blocking it. You're going to put together a defense team by clicking the defense team tab. And essentially, what you want to put together here is not necessarily the strongest CP team, but you want to put together the team that can either stall the most with healing and debuffs, or your strongest attacking team that can mow down pretty much anything that they go against. Okay, that's arena defense 101 right there. Other than that, key characters would be Clury, well, Falconer Clury after you do her specialty change. But Falconer Clury, um, Angelica, Achates, Dien, those three healers are really good. Hazel is good as well because she gives an attack buff. Um, but you want to try to put together at least one healer, one support, and either two DPS or one tank and one DPS. That would be your key thing for defense. Okay. There are other things you can do for defense. I've seen all heal teams. I've seen, I just seen all kinds of things when it comes to defense. It's just whatever you can do, whatever you can think of with your lineup that is going to be like, okay, this is going to do the most work for me. That's what you would put in. All right. So that's arena. That's PvP. I feel like I'm missing something, but I pretty much went over everything in the game. When you play through the story, you're going to unlock these things on the left here. The pack is going to be where all the bonus packs are put together. They're specials and things like that. This is for people that want to spend money on the game. The shop is where you would go for all things that you can buy in the game. So conquest points is arena points. Ancient coins is a currency that you get through labyrinths. Friendship points you get by playing the game and using people's characters. Powder of knowledge is what you get for when you sell artifacts. Transmit stones you get by playing the game and completing quests. Normal is where you would spend your sky stones that you get, and sky stone is where you would go to buy sky stone. Sky stones is the premium currency of the game. And I'm going to be honest with you, if you're thinking about buying sky stones, go get the packs. Now, the packs that I am going to recommend are going to be monthly pack 2, and the rank up pack. If you just buy those things, you are going to set yourself with sky stones, uh, summons, and gold. You're going to get bonus XP. You're going to get bonus gold. So that's That's pretty much it. I mean, I can't really think of anything else that I could tell you guys right now, and I'm pretty sure if I am missing something, you can tell me in the comments down below, and I'll reply to you and give you a personal response. All right, so please do take care, enjoy yourselves. If you're ever on Twitch and you want to see me live, come follow me at Pluto Killer TV, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.